Ladies, let me tell you something that might shock you. Sometimes the most powerful reaction you can give a man who hurts you is not the one he expects. He's ready for the tears. He's ready for the arguments. He's ready for the drama. But do you know what he isn't ready for? You being calm, collected, and completely in control. That's the move that leaves him spinning, questioning, and wondering what just happened. So, when a man hurts you, don't give him the reaction he's bracing for. Confuse him with silence, with strength, with grace, and with your unstoppable growth. Because the moment you stop playing his game, you start winning yours. Would you like me to also expand this into a longer, more storytelling style speech like you'd actually deliver on stage or in a YouTube video, or keep it short and punchy as above? When someone hurts you, the first instinct is almost always to react. We feel this rush inside us, this urgency to defend ourselves, to explain, to make them see the damage they've caused. And yet, what most people don't realize is that reaction is exactly what gives the other person their sense of power. It's like handing them the remote control to your emotions and letting them press play, pause, and fast forward whenever they want. But the most powerful move you can make, the one that truly unsettles a man who has hurt you, is silence. Not the passive, aggressive, sulking kind of silence, but intentional silence. The kind of silence that says, I don't need to waste my words because my value is already proven without explanation. Think about it, men are often wired to expect a counterattack. They're ready for you to cry, to shout, to demand answers, to show that you're shaken. And in some twisted way, your reaction actually validates their importance. It tells them, you matter enough to ruin my peace. But when you choose silence, you do the exact opposite. You remove their spotlight. You take away the very stage they were hoping to perform on. Suddenly, the script they rehearsed in their head doesn't work anymore, and that is where the confusion begins. Silence forces him to sit with himself. While you are protecting your energy, he's stuck questioning why you didn't respond. Did you not care? Are you stronger than he thought? Did his words fail to touch you? That uncertainty lingers far longer than any angry reply ever could. And here's the beauty of it. Silence is not about ignoring him out of bitterness. It's about respecting yourself enough to not waste energy on something that doesn't serve you. It's also important to remember that silence doesn't mean weakness. It means self-control. It's easy to lash out, to send that long message, to pour your heart out in frustration. But it takes discipline and strength to say, I'm not going to give this situation more power than it deserves. And that's what confuses him most, because he can't understand why his actions didn't destabilize you. He expected chaos, but you gave him composure. He expected fire, but you gave him coolness. And here's the kicker. Silence often speaks louder than any words ever could. Your quiet withdrawal makes a louder statement than shouting ever would. It says, you don't get to define my worth, you don't get to control my emotions, and you definitely don't get to drain my peace. That kind of silence isn't empty. It's filled with power, with self-respect, and with a message that leaves him thinking long after the moment has passed. There is something almost magical about smiling in the very moment when someone expects you to break down. Picture this, he says something cruel, something sharp, something designed to pierce right through your heart. He's watching closely, waiting for the flicker of pain in your eyes, waiting for you to argue, or perhaps waiting for the tears he's sure will come. That is the moment when you change the entire game, not by shouting louder than him, not by explaining yourself, but by doing the opposite of what he anticipates. You smile. And not the kind of smile that hides your pain or masks your emotions, but a calm, confident smile that carries the quiet message, you can't take away my strength. This smile isn't about pretending you're unaffected. It's about choosing your reaction from a place of power, rather than giving him the satisfaction of seeing you crumble. When a man expects you to fall apart and instead sees you holding yourself together, even finding the grace to smile, it disarms him completely. That smile doesn't just confuse him, it unsettles him. It forces him to wonder what inner strength you're holding that he underestimated. And that confusion is not about manipulation, but about shifting the balance. It reminds him that his words don't get to define your mood or your sense of self. Smiling in those moments doesn't mean you approve of what he said or did, nor does it mean you're excusing his behavior. It means you're refusing to let him dictate the way you feel. You're saying without words, I'm not broken, I'm not destroyed, I'm still here, and I'm stronger than you thought. That's the power of body language. Sometimes your composure says more than any speech you could give. What most people don't realize is that a smile is often more powerful than anger. Anger fuels the other person's ego because they know they got a reaction. A smile, on the other hand, leaves them questioning their own tactics. It forces them to confront the possibility that their attempt to hurt you failed. And when someone realizes that their negativity couldn't shake you, it creates a ripple effect. They may start to reflect on their actions, or they may even become frustrated with their inability to control you. Either way, you come out stronger because you stayed calm when he expected you to collapse. In the end, the smile is not for him, it's for you. It's a declaration of your resilience, your emotional intelligence, and your refusal to let anyone steal your inner peace. That moment when you choose to smile instead of breaking down is the moment you show yourself just how powerful you really are. When someone treats you poorly, the natural reaction is often to mirror their behavior. If they're cold, you become colder. If they're cruel, you bite back harder. It feels fair, it feels justified, and in the moment it feels powerful. But here's the truth, mirroring negativity doesn't confuse him. It confirms his expectations. He already predicts that you'll fight fire with fire, and when you do, he feels validated in the role he's chosen to play. The real curveball, the move that leaves him completely off balance, is when you flip the script with kindness. Not exaggerated kindness, not a performance dripping with sarcasm, but a simple, calm, genuine kindness that he didn't see coming. Think about the strength it takes to respond to rudeness with composure. Anyone can be reactive when hurt, that's the easy path. But it takes immense control to look at someone who is trying to provoke you and decide that you won't give them the reaction they're fishing for. Instead, you show grace, you lower your tone, you answer in a way that demonstrates dignity instead of spite. And in doing so, you create a sharp contrast. His negativity looks even smaller, pettier, and more obvious when set beside your kindness. It's like holding up a mirror that reflects the difference between you and him. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't just confuse him, it forces him to question himself. Why are you so composed when he expected you to unravel? Why are you still treating him with calmness when he doesn't deserve it? That cognitive dissonance, his cruelty standing next to your grace, creates discomfort. Suddenly, he can't hide behind justifications for his behavior, because your response exposes how unjustified it really was. And make no mistake, kindness in this context is not weakness. Weakness is letting him drag you into the mud where he feels at home. Strength is standing tall, showing that you can control your emotions instead of being controlled by his actions. True power is in choosing your response, not in being ruled by the situation. That's why kindness, when it's unexpected, is so powerful. It communicates that your self-respect is intact, that his behavior cannot lower your standards, and that you refuse to let anyone else define the way you show up in the world. At the end of the day, the person who stays kind when hurt is not the fool. They're the one who walks away with their integrity untouched. That's what really confuses him, realizing that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't make you step out of your grace. One of the most confusing things you can do to a man who has hurt you is to simply stop making him the center of your world. Because often, when someone knows they've hurt you, they expect you to revolve around that pain. They assume you'll spend nights overthinking, days checking your phone, hours replaying the moment again and again. And if you do, they still hold power over you, even in their absence. But when you shift your focus away from him and back onto yourself, you create a ripple effect he can't control. Suddenly, the energy that once fueled arguments, questions, or attempts to fix things is now being poured into your own growth, and that's when the real confusion begins. Imagine this: instead of chasing closure from him, you chase new goals for yourself. Instead of sitting by the phone, you're out meeting new people, deepening friendships, learning skills, exploring passions you once put on hold. Instead of showing him that he broke you, you show him that you're blooming in places he never watered. Nothing unsettles a man more than realizing that the hurt he caused didn't destroy you. It became the fuel for you to rise higher. That's when the tables turn, because while he may have thought he was leaving you with a scar, you turned it into strength. And here's the interesting part. When a man sees you thriving without him, it challenges the narrative in his head. If he thought you needed him to feel worthy, your independence proves otherwise. If he thought his absence would bring you down, your growth proves he was wrong. And it's not about playing a game or pretending you're okay. It's about genuinely redirecting your energy to things that make you happier, stronger, and more fulfilled. That kind of authenticity can't be faked, and it's exactly why it's so powerful. What confuses him most is not just that you moved on, but that you moved forward. There's a difference. Moving on implies forgetting. Moving forward means evolving. It means his actions didn't freeze you in time. They didn't hold you back. They became part of your story, but not the definition of it. And when he realizes he no longer has a starring role in your life's movie, only a passing scene, that's when the confusion hits hardest. Because in his mind, hurting you was supposed to keep him relevant. Instead, it made him irrelevant. In the end, the greatest form of strength is to live so fully, so vibrantly, and so unapologetically for yourself, that the very person who tried to break you has no choice but to watch you shine without him. That is the kind of confusion that lasts, because it leaves him questioning not only what he did, but also what he lost. When a man hurts you, it's easy to believe that the best way to respond is to give him a taste of his own medicine. But the truth is, revenge doesn't heal you. It keeps you tied to him emotionally and mentally. The real power lies in taking the path he least expects. Silence when he wants noise. A smile when he hopes for tears. Kindness when he delivers cruelty. Growth when he assumes you'll remain stuck in the pain he left behind. These aren't just strategies to confuse him. They are strategies to protect you, to remind you of the strength you already carry inside. What truly unsettles someone who tries to hurt you is realizing that they don't have the power to define you. Their words or actions may sting in the moment, but they cannot dictate who you are unless you allow them to. By holding your composure, by standing in your grace, and by pouring your energy back into yourself, you show a kind of resilience that is rare and unforgettable. You're not just surviving the hurt, you're transforming it into the very thing that elevates you. That's the kind of power that lingers long after the moment has passed, and let's be clear, this isn't about playing mind games or keeping score. It's about reclaiming your emotional independence. It's about realizing that the most effective way to confuse someone who hurts you is to no longer operate on their terms. You choose silence because your peace matters more. You choose to smile because your joy isn't for sale. You choose kindness because you refuse to be dragged into bitterness. And you choose growth because you understand that life is too precious to be wasted on someone who tried to dim your light. Every single one of those choices sends a message without you ever having to raise your voice. In the end, the real win is not in confusing him, it's in clarifying yourself. It's in walking away stronger, wiser, and more confident in your worth than ever before. Because when you rise above the hurt and redirect your focus, the confusion he feels is temporary, but the strength you gain is permanent. And that strength is what will carry you into the next chapter of your life, one where you're not defined by who hurt you, but by how beautifully you chose to rise after it. Thank you so much for giving me your time and energy today. If these words spoke to you, remember it's not just about listening, it's about living them out. Every time you choose silence, every time you smile instead of breaking, every time you show kindness where it's least expected, and every time you grow instead of shrinking, you're proving your strength to yourself. I'm truly grateful that you've been part of this journey with me. If you found value in this message, make sure to share it with someone who needs the reminder of their own power. Don't forget to like, comment, and Subscribe, because every bit of support helps us reach more people who deserve to hear this. And most importantly, take this with you. No matter who tries to hurt you, your light is untouchable when you protect it with love, dignity, and growth. You are stronger than you realize, and the best chapters of your life are still waiting to be written. Thank you once again. Stay strong, keep shining, and until next time, good bye and take care.